Good morning.
Hi there, I'm Jennifer.
I'm Reed.
Welcome to another Faith at Home listening practice.
Yes, welcome. We're just going to do some more of the same, which is counterintuitive, maybe. But
That's the way practices are.
yes,
We do a thing and then we do it again until it weaves itself into our lives in good ways.
yeah.
That's the benefit of good habits versus the other kind.
Yeah.
So this morning we're going to listen to Psalm 8. And I'd invite you to pay attention for a word or a phrase that captures your imagination today. So this is Psalm 8 from the Message translation. God, brilliant Lord, yours is a household name. Nursing infants gurgle choruses about you. Toddlers shout the songs that drown out enemy talk and silence atheist babble. I look up at your macro skies, dark and enormous, your handmade sky jewelry, moons and stars mounted in their settings. Then I look at my micro self and wonder, why do you bother with us? Why take a second look our way? Yet, we've so narrowly missed being gods, bright with Eden's dawn light. You put us in charge of your handcrafted world, repeated to us your Genesis charge, made us lords of sheep and cattle, even animals in the wild, birds flying and fish swimming, whales singing in the ocean deeps. God, brilliant Lord, your name echoes around the world. Is there something that captures your imagination today?
I think that part about narrowly missing being gods, an Eden's dawn light, that creation reference there. I don't know, it just stuck in my head. Not sure why. It just stuck to me.
You can
Struck me.
Listen to the day and through the day to what those things might mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think what jumped out at me today was that household name. So we were just talking about practices and this doing things again and again, and there's something about that connects me to our sort of everyday life, the mundane, the normal, the householdness. And often I think of God as far off, but not really. There is somehow immanence and God's presence right with us in the midst of God's being magnificent and far off, and macro skies and micro self. Somehow those all come together for me in that sense of God, the divine family, being part of our household.
Right.
Would you read it again?
I can read it again.
What are we listening for this time?
Let's listen for an invitation. Listen for an invitation from God, the Spirit. And just listen for an invitation. God will be asking you to do something or to pay special attention to something. An invitation. Anyway, so Psalm 8. God, brilliant Lord, yours is a household name. Nursing infants gurgle choruses about you. Toddlers shout the songs that drown out enemy talk and silence atheist babble. I look up at your macro skies, dark and enormous, your handmade sky jewelry, moon and stars mounted in their settings. Then I look at my micro self and wonder, why do you bother with us? Why take a second look our way? Yet we've so narrowly missed being gods, bright with Eden's dawn light. You put us in charge of your handcrafted world, repeated to us your Genesis charge, made us lords of sheep and cattle, even animals out in the wild, birds flying and fish swimming, whales singing in the ocean deeps. God, brilliant Lord, your name echoes around the world.
The invitation that calls out to me today is to pay attention in the natural world for those things that call me to join in praise. That there are birds singing outside today, and the breeze is blowing, and the leaves are fluttering in the trees. There's a little bit of cloud, and it's a little bit cooler today. We've had some nice warm weather for the last few days. But the natural world, as I listen to it, could invite me today to say thank you to God. So I accept that invitation for today.
And that goes back to that Eden's dawn light for me, that creation. And it's sort of the same. It's springish weather here right now, and I've been loading dirt into our backyard because our yard was all lumpy and bumpy. When our kids were younger, they liked to dig holes. So they dug some pretty huge holes in our backyard. But that putting in soil and expecting God to do something, I guess the invitation is to watch, like you say, too, watching for those natural things, those connected to that Eden's dawn, that creation, that idea of, as Jen was saying, the birds, the squirrels, which our dog, barks at madly. There's this interaction between the dog and the squirrels, and the just creation, going through our yard and seeing all the things coming up, and just to be mindful of that, to be reminded of God's grace. I guess that's the invitation, is to pay attention. God is always present, I know, but somehow in spring, when you see everything coming, trees blossoming with flowers, if they're flowering trees, or the plants coming out of the ground, all that stuff, to just be reminded of God's goodness and reminder of God's grace. Mm-hmm. It's just what I'm being called to as I'm hauling dirt.
So I wonder, what are the words or phrases that stand out for you today? What captures your imagination? And is there an invitation that calls you into the day? It's been good to be together. Thanks for being here.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you.